Welcome back. Today we'll be talking about the various tabs that exist on Sketchware. And first of all, by this your right hand, there are two items there. Number one, you have the layout, and number two, you have the widget. Now the layout, we have the linear and the scroll layout. The linear just arrange your item either vertically or horizontally, whereas the scroll allows you to arrange your linear within it such that the user will be able to scroll either vertically or horizontally. Also, we have some widgets: the text view for displaying text, the edit text for receiving text from user, text input from the user. We have the button such as submit, register, sign in. That's what we use the button for. We also have the image view. We have the checkbox. We have the spinner. We have the list view. We have web view, switch, seek bar, progress bar, calendar view, add view, and the map view. All this we'll still have to talk about in details one by one. Just let me start with the layout and show you what they do. The linear H means you want to itemize your widget in a horizontal manner. See what happens now as I will arrange this text inside it. You can see all my texts are going in a horizontal manner. But when you use the linear V allows you to align your widget in a vertical manner. I want to change the width to match parent so that you can see what I'm saying very well. Now it's now in full screen. The height to match to wrap content. Yes. Now watch what happens now. This is a linear V. See the way it's going to arrange the items. Can you see? It's arranging them in a vertical manner. So that's the difference between the linear V and the linear H. But look at something. Look at this linear H now. I want to add some other items inside it. There will come to a time that the items will fold off such that you won't see some of the widgets that you place there. That's why we use the scroll layout. The scroll layout, this is the scroll H. It allows you to scroll to the left or to the right. So I will be adding some. When you add your scroll layout, you still need to add your linear layout within the scroll layout. What this does is that the scroll layout allows you to scroll vertically or horizontally depending on if it's H or V. Now I've used the scroll H, so I'll be inserting a scroll H, a linear H now inside it. So now with this, I'll be able to arrange my items no matter how much they are. I'll be able to arrange them inside it, and yet I'll be able to see them. Yes, see what happens. I'm able to scroll. But when you try that with this upper layout, you can't do that. The same thing with the scroll V. That's how to use those layouts. Now we come to the widgets. The widgets, as their name implies, the text view allows you to display some text. The edit text allows the user to insert some text in your app. So also the button, as I've said earlier, it helps you to send the information to the server or to process the information based on the program that you have written. The image view is used to add images, so you could easily change the image here. We'll still talk more about that. Before I go, I need to mention this. When you click a particular widget and you drag it to the screen, you see this property. You see this property here is where you can control what that text, the button or the edit text or whatever widget, how you can control that widget. That's where this property menu, that's where it comes in. For example, this text view that I've highlighted, I could change the text by clicking this ABC, the black one. So I will type in a new text. This is a new text. Just as you can see, this is a new text is appearing on the screen. Also, I could decide to change the weight such that it will fill the screen when I use one, so it pushes every other thing to fill the screen. See what happens here. Let me drag it out of that place. Can you see what happens now? So it fills the screen. So that's about that. The properties, we'll still talk more about them. As I was saying, I was still on the I was still talking about the image when I added digression. So also we have checkbox, we use it in collecting forms. We have the spinner, we use it for displaying some menus. Then we have list view, used to display a list of items. For example, let me drag this list view out. Yes, you can list some items. For example, you want to make an organizer, you want to have items, events for the day, how the day has gone, you want to put it down in your memo. You can use this list view to do that. Also, we have the web view. This is used for displaying web content, HTML document and the likes. So that's the web view. We also have switch. This is used to take a yes or no question from people, or for switching on and off. So also we have the seek bar, just for seeking, and also we have the progress bar, is used to indicate that something is in progress. For example, when you load a web browser, you want the progress bars to show them that the page is still loading, so you use the progress bar. We have two types of progress bar. We have the circular one, and we also have the linear type. This is the linear one, the one that was scrolling. So also we have the calendar view, which will bring up the calendar to view. This is the calendar. Also we have the add view and the map view. All these we'll still discuss in details in further classes. Also more about the interface. You see there is an interface here. This is where you could save your layouts, your design, your front end. You could save them here. So if you save them in a project before, like what you could see here, these are some of the things I've saved in previous projects that I've done. So I could easily bring them here and use it. You can see a complete layout is brought up because that was what I did in the last app that I used. So when you save your widgets or your widget and your layout, when you save it to shared to collection, you will be able to retrieve them from here. Also on this page we have the event tab. That's this tab here. You can get this event tab by scrolling also, or by clicking on event directly. Also we have the component tab. Now let's go back to the event tab. On this event tab, this is where you do the programming of your app. When I say programming, I don't mean you're writing code, I just mean you are arranging blocks. Let me quickly talk about these blocks a bit. I'll click on this on create just as a sample. On create means when this app is launched. So when you what should happen when this app is launched, I could easily use these blocks to tell what will happen. For example, when this app is launched, I can decide to add a variable when it's launched. For example, if I want users to have a count whenever they open the app, I will just add a variable to add 1 to a particular variable. Let me do that quickly and I will show you something. Add a variable. It's a number variable in this case. It could be a string, it could be a boolean, it could be a map, but in this case we are using the number variable, and I will call it count. So this count, I could now, you can see it has developed some blocks for us now. This is a set numbers, number increase and number decrease. So at first, when the app is launched, I'll set the number, that is the count, which is the variable. I'll set the variable to a particular value. I could enter the value or I retrieve the value. In this case, I'll just enter a value 1. So that means automatically when they launch this app, the app counts 1. Now, when I want to add a condition, that's when I use this control. You can see this yellow control now. So there are various blocks here. If I want to add a condition, I'll use the if then, or I use the if then else. What do I mean by if then and if then else? That means if a condition is true, then do what is inside this block. Then in the case of if then else, it says if what is inside this place is true, do what is in the first block, else do what is in this second block. Inside this block we can add a lot of blocks. For example, let me do something. If count is more than 1, if count is more than 1, if count is more than 1, that is count is greater than 1, then I'll go to add a variable count is more than 1. I could add my 1. Then I want it to say, that is toast. I want it to say congratulations. You have more than 1 point. So the moment this app is launched, it will say congratulations, you have more than 1 point. However, what should happen if I have less than 1, or if I have 1 point? Then I could say, that means I will add a text here. You have less than 2 points. Work hard. Yes, that means once this app is launched, it will tell the user, if the user have more than 1, it will tell him congratulations, you have more than 1 point. But if he has less than 2 points, that is, if he has something maybe 1 or lesser than 1, it will tell him you have less than 2 points, work hard for more points. So and when you are adding blocks, always make sure your block plug in correctly. Adding this block like this, you can see it's well plugged, but if I disconnect this plug or I have it like this, if I have my block like this and it's not well plugged, that means by the time I exit, this block will disappear, it will delete automatically. Or sometimes when it's close to the other block but not well plugged, for example something like this, it will stay there but it will not perform any function. So you need to be careful with all these instructions. So that's that about the blocks and how to use them. I will go back to the components. Now, components is where we add extra functions to our app. For example, we could decide to add intent for us to switch from one page to the other, shared preference to save to the file to the phone memory. You have calendar for dates and time. You have the vibrator to vibrate the phone. You have the timer to count the time. You have dialogue to bring up a pop-up. You have the media player to play a long sound. You have the sound pool to play a short sound. You have object animator to animate your widgets, to animate your text, to animate a lot of things. You have the camera to use the camera functionality of your phone. You have file picker to extract a particular file from your phone. You have the gyroscope to detect when the user change the orientation of his app. You have the Firebase DB to save to Firebase. You have Firebase authentication for you to authenticate the user, the login and registration. You have the Firebase storage also to save files to Firebase. You have industrial ad to display AdSense on your app. You have text to speech, though is no longer in use on Sketchware, and as well as the speech to text, but initially it was being used to read out text. And you also have the request network. This is what you use when you want the user to on their data. It will detect whether the data is on or not. Then the Bluetooth connect helps you to connect. Probably you want to share a file via Bluetooth with another user. And the location manager detects the user's present IP address, the user's location, and all these components we could add to our app. As we go on in the course, I wish you will give diligence to play around with all these widgets, all these components, all these blocks. As you play around with them, you get familiar with them. This is where I'll be calling it a day on the second aspect of mobile app development training. I hope you all had a wonderful time. Bye for now.